going on, everyone? We got a Polaris Sportsman 500 in the shop. This is a 99. This video should cover all the way through 2004. This is on how to replace your front brake pads on it. So let's get started. What you're going to do is get your machine jacked up where your tire's up off the ground. As you can see, this one's making some racket. It's already metal on metal. We're going to take our wheel off first. Now that we got our wheel off, to get better access to our brake caliper bolts that are on the back side of this, you're going to want to turn your wheel. You got a bolt here and then a bolt below it here on the bottom. Now that we got our caliper out of the way, you can see that our front pad is wore out a lot more than our back one. There will be a little set screw on the back here. It's an Allen head. You'll need to loosen that so we can compress this back enough to where we can get our pads off. You're going to want to take this all the way out to allow you to compress this, or you can pop your pads off. Now that we got it out, you want to be sure to set it to the side so you don't lose it, because we're going to need it. Once you get it out, you should be able to, if your caliper's working like it's supposed to, you should be able to push these two back, slide back, and your pads will pop right off. And as you can see, our back pad's not worn nearly as much as the front. And the little set screw we took out is also an adjuster to make sure that this does not happen. And we'll show you how to adjust that in just a second. Now we've got to compress our piston back inside our caliper. So what you're going to want to do, sometimes you can squeeze these with pliers. Sometimes you have to use a C-clamp like we're doing right here. What you want to do is make sure you don't damage this little fitting here on the back, the little bleeder. I'm getting around where you there it is. Right here. You don't want to damage it, because then your caliper will be messed up. And all you're going to do is just tighten this down till you get this compressed back in. Now I did put one of my brake pads back on, just so I had something to push against. And once you get it back compressed, then you can take your brake pad back off, and we'll show you how to reinstall the new ones. Sometimes you do have to come in like this with your C-clamp so you can get a better bite on it. Just depends on what works best for you. Now don't forget that we'll have all the parts and tools that we're using in this video, along with some new shirts and stuff we're offering, down in the description below, so don't forget to check that out. Now that we got our new pads here, you're going to take your new pads. We're going to have to press this back down again, same way we took off our old ones. Sometimes they can be just a little tricky. And they literally just pop on like that. And then we're going to slide it back on to our rotor. And get our bolt started. It goes on the back. Not a bad idea to put you some anti-seize on this. Now that we got our set screw started, what that does is help push on these slides right here. to help get them back to where they're supposed to be. That also helps apply pressure on this. Now once we get our bolts to get this bolted back down, I'll show you how you're supposed to set that to get this. You're wanting this to be centered up in here and have the same amount of tension on each side of your, you see how this side's loose and this side's tight. You want it to have, you want them both to be just a little bit loose. And now that we got everything tightened up on the back here, we got our bolts tightened up. On your set screw, what you're going to want to do is, you can see we've got a little bit of slack here in the front. And I don't know if you can hear that, we got a little bit of slack on the back. That's about what you're looking for. I've done reached up and compressed my front brake caliper, or master cylinder, to take up all the slack and stuff inside my brake caliper. So, and right now, you know, it's just sitting at a relaxed state. You know, I can shimmy this pad, I can shimmy this pad, and they both feel about the same. Where before, when I came in here, this pad was tied up against the rotor, and this one was loose. And anytime you have something happen like that, this is what you get. You get a brake pad that's wore out on one side, and one that's, you know, that's probably got almost just a little under half pad left on it. But that's usually what happens, because the screw on the back of these, the little bolt, the little Allen head, is actually a little, like a set screw thing. People think you're just supposed to run them down tight, and that's not the case. That is a set screw to adjust your tightness on your pads. So keep that in mind when you do brakes, and most of your Polaris have that on them. But that's going to pretty much wrap up this video, guys. Only thing we got left to do, put the tire on it. If you like videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate y'all's support. Don't forget, all the thing you're going to need to complete a video like this, or complete a task like this, is going to be down in the description below, as well as some new shirts and stuff we're starting to offer. And we'll catch you guys in the next video.